Emmy Awards. And early on, I won my first one, and then I won my second one, and they would sit in my apartment and stare at me. I lived in a little studio apartment in Brooklyn at the time, and I spent about 200 days a year on the road. In fact, most of the people that stayed at my house were not me, or my friends. They'd come and stay when I was gone. Several of them had keys to my apartment because I was never there. Always on the road, always in conflict zones, Afghanistan, Iraq, Somalia, Libya, places like that. And, I won some Emmy Awards. And when you sit in a little studio apartment and you win an Emmy Award, you're like really excited at the ceremony. Then you take it home and you still realize your life hasn't changed. Your friends and family think you're a rock star, but there you are in that 470 square foot studio apartment in Brooklyn, looking down at the garbage trucks, and you realize it's not really a life-changing event. And you also realize you're not as special as you thought you were, like the night before when you're wearing a tuxedo. You're just another guy going back to work. But when you stare at these things, these big gold statues, you get the sense of self-importance. And I think maybe it's nice to be recognized for the work that you do, but some of the best work I've done, we didn't even enter for Emmys, because when I first got to 60 Minutes, we didn't even know we were allowed to put them forward to the show. We thought the show picked them. Anyways, the best work I did was probably in the first 5 years, and I was there 15 years. But after I won a couple of these things and I'd stare at them in my apartment, I started thinking they weren't very useful to me because they made me not work as hard. Because you thought you'd landed, you thought you'd been there, you made